Stardust Sentinel, Humanity's Last Guardian. Part 1. The Anomaly. The gravitational sensors at Neptune's monitoring station weren't supposed to ping like that. Not with that intensity, not in that particular sector of space. Commander Elena Reyes stared at the holographic display. Her dark eyes narrowed as she traced the anomaly's location with her fingertip. 20 years in the United Earth Space Command had taught her that anomalies were rarely good news. The readings suggested something massive had just entered the solar system, something that shouldn't be there. How long has it been present? Elena asked, her voice carrying the calm authority that had earned her command of the UESC Horizon, humanity's most advanced research vessel. Dr. Amir Kapoor, the station's lead scientist, shook his head. That's what's strange, Commander. It just appeared. No approach vector, no warp signature. One moment nothing, the next moment. He gestured at the red blip pulsing on the screen. Could it be a sensor malfunction? We've triple-checked. 3 different monitoring systems all picked it up simultaneously. Whatever it is, it's real. Elena studied the data scrolling beside the display. The anomaly was holding position at the edge of the Kuiper belt, approximately 50 astronomical units from Earth. Too far for detailed observation from Neptune's station, but close enough to be a potential threat. I'm taking the Horizon to investigate, she decided. Prepare a data package for me. I'll transmit to Earth Command en route. 12 hours later, the Horizon broke orbit from Mars Station, where Elena and her crew had been conducting routine upgrades. The sleek research vessel, with its distinctive ring of sensor arrays encircling the central habitation module, accelerated toward the outer solar system. Earth Command had given immediate authorization, unusual efficiency that spoke volumes about their concern. Elena's second-in-command, Lieutenant Jack Chen, joined her on the observation deck as Neptune's blue orb grew visible ahead. Crew's running final diagnostics on the sensor package, he reported. Engineering says we're ready for rapid deployment of the drones once we reach the anomaly. Elena nodded. Good. Any update from command? Nothing new. They're keeping this quiet. No public announcements. Military channels are buzzing, though. The Jupiter defense platform is on alert. They're spooked, Elena said, tapping her console to bring up the latest readings. And getting spookier. Look at this. The gravitational anomaly had shifted slightly, its energy signature fluctuating in patterns that defied natural explanation. That's not an asteroid, Jack muttered. Those energy patterns are artificial, which means we're likely looking at a vessel, one larger than anything we've ever built. Jack's expression darkened. First contact. Let's hope it's friendly if it is, Elena replied, though something in her gut told her that whatever waited at the edge of the solar system wasn't here to make friends. 3 days later, as the Horizon approached the coordinates of the anomaly, the entire crew gathered in the command center. The main view screen showed only stars and the distant smudge of Neptune behind them. No visual contact yet, reported Lieutenant Sato from the sensor station, but we're definitely picking up the gravitational distortion. Wait. She adjusted controls, her face illuminated by the blue glow of her console. I'm getting something on the thermal imaging. Patching it through now. The view screen shifted to a false color display. Against the cold black of space, a massive heat signature bloomed into view. A structure of impossible scale, its form distorted as if parts of it existed in dimensions they couldn't quite perceive. My God, someone whispered. The object was clearly a ship, or had been one. Its hull was fractured in multiple places, with segments that appeared to phase in and out of visibility. It stretched nearly 2 kilometers from end to end, dwarfing the horizon like a whale beside a minnow. No signs of propulsion activity, Sato continued, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. It appears to be adrift. Life signs? Elena asked. Inconclusive. We're getting energy readings that could indicate systems are still active, but there's some kind of interference preventing detailed scans. Elena made her decision. Move us in closer full sensor suite. Deploy the drones for exterior visual mapping. I want to know if that thing is dead or just playing dead. As the horizon closed the distance, the alien vessel grew more defined. Its design defied human engineering logic, all curves and spirals rather than the functional angles of Earth ships. The hull appeared to be made of a material that absorbed light rather than reflected it, giving it a depth that seemed to pull at the eye. The mapping drones sent back images of damage that told a grim story. Massive sections had been torn away, revealing internal structures that pulsed with faint blue light. The wounds in the hull weren't random. They showed clear evidence of weapons fire. This ship was in a battle, Jack said, pointing to patterns of damage. Recently, judging by the residual energy signatures. Elena nodded grimly. And it lost. Commander, Sato called out, urgency in her voice. I'm detecting a transmission. I think it's coming from inside the vessel. The command center fell silent. Can you decode it? Elena asked. It's not using any known protocol, but it's adapting. The pattern is changing, cycling through different formats. Sato looked up, her eyes wide. I think it's trying to figure out how to talk to us. A crackling sound filled the command center, followed by a voice that seemed to shift between pitches and tones, as if searching for the right frequency. Help, survivors. They are coming. Please. Elena stepped forward. This is Commander Elena Reyes of the United Earth Research Vessel Horizon. We're receiving your transmission. Identify yourself. Static hissed. Then, my name, Corvin. Last survivor, Warship Luminous Reflection. Need immediate assistance. The Voidborn. They found us. They will come for you next. The Voidborn. Elena repeated. Who are they? Destroyers of worlds. They consume everything. My world is gone. Many others. Your system is next on their path. Jack muttered under his breath. Of course it is. Elena silenced him with a look, then addressed the transmission again. Corvin, we need more information. Are you injured? Can we send a team to assist you? Yes, please. Life support failing. Not much time. Elena turned to her officers. Prepare a boarding team. Full hazard protocols, armed escort. I'll lead it myself. Commander, Jack protested. Regulations clearly state that first contact scenarios are command priority. Elena finished for him. I'm going, Jack. You have the con while I'm away. 2 hours later, Elena led a team of 6 through the ragged breach in the alien ship's hull. They'd moved in eerie silence, their magnetized boots holding them to what they presumed was the floor in the zero-gravity environment. Their helmet lights cut through darkness, revealing corridors that seemed to be grown rather than built, with surfaces that had the organic appearance of coral or bone. The air was breathable according to their sensors, a nitrogen-oxygen mix similar to Earth's, but protocol demanded they remain suited until they understood more about the environment. They followed a faint trail of emergency lighting embedded in the walls, leading deeper into the vessel. Occasional bursts of static came through their comms, which their suit systems interpreted as navigation guidance. This technology is incredible, Dr. Maya Wong, their xenobiologist, whispered over the comm. These structures appear to be partially biological, almost as if the ship is alive, or was. Stay focused, Elena reminded them. We're here to find survivors and assess the threat these Voidborn might pose. They reached what appeared to be a central command chamber. Unlike the corridors, this room was bathed in dim blue light emanating from consoles that lined the walls. In the center floated a translucent cylinder filled with a viscous fluid. Inside was a being. It was vaguely humanoid, with 2 arms and 2 legs, but there the similarities ended. Its skin was iridescent, shifting colors like oil on water. No visible eyes, but a series of ridges where a human face would be. It floated in the liquid, connected to the cylinder by a web of filaments that pulsed with light. I am Corvin, came the voice over their comms. last navigator of the Radiant Concord. Thank you for coming. Elena stepped forward. We received your distress call. You mentioned a threat. The Voidborn. Yes. The being's skin darkened to a deep purple. They destroyed my homeworld 3 of your Earth years ago. We have been fighting them since, losing system after system. This ship, a war vessel of our most advanced design, was sent to find allies. We discovered your world, and were approaching when the Voidborn ambushed us. Why should we believe you? Lieutenant Rivera, the security officer, asked. This could be an elaborate deception. Corvin's color shifted again. Your skepticism is warranted. I can provide data, recordings of the Voidborn attacks, star charts showing their path of destruction. But time is short. My ship's systems are failing, and the Voidborn scout vessels that disabled us will have already transmitted our location. They will come to investigate why one of their targets escaped destruction. How much time do we have? Elena asked. Days, perhaps a week. Their main fleet moves slower than their advanced scouts. Elena made a decision. Dr. Wong, work with Corvin to retrieve any data that can verify this threat. Lieutenant Rivera, secure this chamber. I need to report to Earth Command immediately. Back aboard the Horizon, Elena faced a skeptical audience as she transmitted her findings to the United Earth Defense Council. You're telling me an alien refugee is claiming an invasion force is headed for Earth, and we have days to prepare. General Winter's holographic image scowled at her. That's correct, sir. The data Corvin provided corroborates his claim. Dr. Wong is analyzing it now, but preliminary findings suggest he's telling the truth. The Voidborn have destroyed at least 7 inhabited systems in the past decade. Their technology is far beyond ours. Even if this is true, Commander, what exactly do you expect us to do? Earth's defense fleet isn't equipped to repel an advanced alien invasion. Corvin's ship contains technology that could help us, General. Some of its systems are still operational. With his guidance, we might be able to adapt some of our defenses. The General sighed. I'll convene an emergency session of the Defense Council. In the meantime, you're authorized to render whatever assistance you can to this, Corvin, and gather as much intelligence as possible. If there's even a remote chance this threat is real, we need to be prepared. There's one more thing, sir, Elena added. Corvin believes the Voidborn aren't just conquerors, they're consumers. They strip planets of resources, including all organic matter. They don't leave survivors. The General's expression hardened. Then we better hope your alien friend knows how to stop them, Commander. Because if what he's saying is true, we're looking at an extinction-level event. As Elena ended the transmission, an alarm blared through the horizon. Commander to the bridge. Jack's voice came over the comm. Multiple objects just appeared at the edge of our sensor range. They're moving fast, on an intercept course with our position. Elena raced to the command center. The tactical display showed 3 vessels approaching rapidly from the direction of the outer Kuiper belt. Configuration doesn't match anything in our database, Sato reported. Energy signatures are similar to the residual weapons damage on Corvin's ship. Elena's blood ran cold. The Voidborn scouts, they're already here. The first battle for Earth's survival was about to begin, and humanity wasn't ready. The Guardians rise. Battle stations, all non-essential personnel to emergency shelters, Elena ordered, her voice cutting through the chaos of alarms. Jack, get us between those ships and Corvin's vessel. Lieutenant Chen nodded, his fingers dancing across the navigation console. The Horizon surged forward, positioning itself as a shield before the damaged alien ship. Weapons hot, Lieutenant Rivera reported from the tactical station she'd rushed to upon returning from the boarding mission. But Commander, our defense systems weren't designed for this kind of engagement. Elena knew this all too well. The Horizon was a research vessel with minimal armaments, designed to fend off pirates or debris, not wage war against advanced alien technology. We just need to buy time, Elena said. Sato, open a channel to Corvin. The alien's voice came through immediately. I sensed them. Voidborn hunter-seekers. 3 vessels, standard scout formation. Can your ship's defensive systems be activated? Some, yes, but most require a navigator to interface directly. I am connected to what remains. Commander, Sado interrupted. The approaching vessels have stopped. They're holding position just outside weapons range. I'm detecting energy buildup. They're scanning us. Elena made a split-second decision. Corvin, I'm coming back aboard your ship. There must be something we can use against them. Ignoring Jack's protests, Elena took a small team and returned to the alien vessel. They found Corvin's suspension cylinder now connected to additional systems, pulsing with increased luminosity. I have diverted emergency power to the primary defense grid, Corvin explained as they entered. But much is damaged beyond my ability to repair. Your technology. It is different, but there may be compatibility we can exploit. Dr. Rajiv Das, the Horizon's chief engineer, stepped forward. Show me your weapon systems. Maybe we can jury-rig something. What followed was a frantic collaboration across species boundaries. Das and his engineering team worked with Corvin to understand the alien technology, while Elena coordinated with the Horizon to monitor the Voidborn scouts, which continue their ominous vigil just beyond attack range. They're waiting for something, Elena realized. Reinforcements, maybe. Or analyzing our defenses before they strike, Rivera suggested grimly. 4 hours into their work, Das made a breakthrough. Commander, we've figured out how to integrate our power systems with a portion of Corvin's defensive array. It won't be pretty, but we might be able to generate a directed energy pulse that could disrupt their sensors, maybe even their weapons. How long to implement? 2 hours, if we're lucky. They got 30 minutes. Commander, Jack's voice came urgently over the comm. The Voidborn ships are moving, accelerating toward us. Elena turned to Das. You just ran out of time, Doctor. What do we have? A partial connection to the shield generator and one of the smaller weapon banks. It might give the Horizon a fighting chance, but the power coupling is unstable. It'll have to do. Get back to the ship now. As the engineering team evacuated, Elena remained behind with Corvin. You must go, the alien urged. My ship cannot move, but yours still can. Elena shook her head. We're not leaving you. And we're not running. She activated her comm. Jack, bring the Horizon alongside Corvin's ship. Lock down with magnetic grapples at the coordinates Das is sending you. We're going to channel power from our engines into their defensive systems. That's not in any tactical manual I've ever read, Jack replied. That's because we're writing a new one today. Execute now, Lieutenant. The Horizon maneuvered into position as the Voidborn ships closed in. Through the viewports, Elena could see them clearly now, sleek, predatory vessels with hulls that seemed to absorb light, making them appear as moving voids against the starfield, living up to their ominous name. Grapples engaged, Jack reported. Power coupling established. But Commander, their weapons are powering up. Elena joined Corvin at what appeared to be the command interface. Tell me what to do. Place your hands here. Corvin guided her to a panel that pulsed with neural pathways. Think of it as an extension of your nervous system. Your intent becomes the ship's action. Elena hesitated only briefly before pressing her palms against the alien surface. Immediately, her mind expanded. She could feel the ship around her, damaged but still alive in some fundamental way she couldn't articulate. And through it, she sensed the Horizon, its familiar systems now linked to this ancient, powerful vessel. The first Voidborn ship is firing. Jack's warning cut through her consciousness. Elena didn't need the alert. She could feel the hostile energy surge through space toward them. Acting on instinct guided by Corvin's presence in the shared neural link, she directed power to the shield generators. A shimmering barrier materialized around both ships, absorbing the Voidborn attack. The impact resonated through Elena's body like a physical blow, but the shield held. Return fire, she commanded, channeling power to the weapon bank Das had managed to connect. A brilliant beam of energy erupted from Corvin's ship, striking the lid Voidborn vessel. The alien craft shuddered, its sleek hull suddenly mirrored by a spreading fracture. Direct hit. Rivera's voice came through the comm. Their shields are down. The two remaining Voidborn ships veered away, regrouping at a safer distance. Elena felt triumph surge through her, quickly tempered by Corvin's mental warning. This is only the beginning. They will adapt. True to prediction, the damaged Voidborn scout emitted a pulse that rippled across space. The fracture in its hull began to seal itself, the material flowing like liquid to repair the damage. Self-healing technology, Das observed over the comm. That's problematic. The Voidborn vessels moved into a triangular formation and began a coordinated attack, firing in sequence to test different sections of the shield. They're probing for weaknesses, Elena realized, feeling each impact through the neural interface. Jack, we need more power to the starboard shield segments. Diverting now, but our engines are redlining. He responded, tension evident in his voice. We can't maintain this output for long. As the battle continued, Earth's defensive forces scrambled to respond. The Jupiter defense platform launched its complement of interceptors, but they were still hours away. Messages from Earth Command flooded in, demanding updates and offering little in the way of assistance. Then, in the midst of the firefight, Corvin's presence in Elena's mind shifted. There is another way. A last resort. What is it? Elena thought back, not knowing if the communication worked both ways. The luminous reflection carries a dimensional cascade device. It was to be our final weapon against the Voidborn homeworld, had we reached it. It generates a localized rupture in space-time that can destroy anything within its radius. Including us? Yes, but I can modify it to create a targeted rift, one that would envelop only the Voidborn ships. However, it requires channeling power from your vessel in a specific sequence. The risk is considerable. Elena didn't hesitate. Show me how. Under Corvin's guidance, Elena directed the engineering team to reconfigure the power relays. The Horizon's engines would need to override their safety protocols and channel energy directly into the alien device, a process that could potentially destroy both ships if miscalculated. Commander, with all due respect, this is insane. Das protested over the comm. We're talking about technology we barely understand. What I understand is that 3 scout ships have us pinned down, Elena replied. If the main Voidborn fleet arrives before Earth is prepared, humanity ends. Are those odds better, Doctor? Das fell silent. Then, relay modifications complete. On your mark. The Voidborn scouts, perhaps sensing the change in power configurations, intensified their attack. One of the shield segments failed, and a glancing hit scored across the Horizon's hull, depressurizing 2 compartments. Casualties reported on Deck C. Jack's voice was tight. Automated systems sealing the breach, but we can't take another hit like that. Elena focused, channeling her determination through the neural interface. She could feel the dimensional device now, a concentrated singularity of potential energy at the heart of Corvin's ship. With the alien's guidance, she initiated the sequence. The lights dimmed as power from both vessels converged on the device. The vibration built throughout the structure, not sound but something more fundamental, a tremor in reality itself. Jack, prepare to cut power to the grapples on my mark and get the Horizon to minimum safe distance. Define safe in this scenario. As far as you can get in 10 seconds. Through the neural link, Elena could sense the Voidborn ships reacting to the energy buildup. They broke formation, attempting to scatter, suddenly defensive rather than aggressive. They recognized the weapon, Corvin confirmed in her mind. They fear it. Then let's give them something to fear. The dimensional cascade reached critical threshold. Elena gave the order to release the grapples, and the Horizon pushed away from Corvin's ship with emergency thrusters. Firing device now, she announced, channeling the final command through the interface. For a moment, Nothing seemed to happen. Then space itself appeared to fold inward around the voidborne vessels. Stars distorted as gravity warped, light bending around an invisible epicenter. The alien ships struggled against the pull, their engines flaring desperately. One by one, they were drawn into the rift, stretched, compressed, and finally vanishing in flashes of released energy as space-time reasserted itself. The dimensional tear sealed itself shut, leaving only empty void where the voidborne scouts had been. Elena slumped against the command interface, the neural connection fading as the ship's systems powered down to critical levels. "We did it," she breathed. For now, Corvin's thoughts brushed against hers. But more will come. 2 days later, Elena stood before the United Earth Defense Council, her dress uniform immaculate despite the exhaustion etched in her face. Behind her, a holographic display showed the remains of Corvin's ship, now moved to Earth orbit under heavy military escort. "The technology contained within the luminous reflection represents our best hope for survival," she concluded her presentation. "Corvin has agreed to share everything: weapons, shields, propulsion systems, in exchange for asylum and our help rebuilding his vessel." "And you trust this alien?" General Winters asked. "After all, we only have his word that these voidborne are coming in force." "With respect, General, we have more than his word. We have direct confirmation from the scout ships that attacked us. We have the data recovered from his ship showing the destruction of 7 star systems. And we have the fact that Corvin risked his life to help us defeat those scouts." The council members exchanged glances. "Very well, Commander Reyes," the Secretary General said finally. "Your recommendation is approved. You will continue to work with Corvin to adapt his technology for Earth's defense. All available resources will be allocated to this project." "There's one more thing," Elena added. "Corvin believes his ship can be sufficiently repaired to serve as a prototype for a new class of Earth defense vessel. With your permission, I'd like to command it when the time comes." "You're a research officer, not a warship captain," General Winters objected. "I've already successfully operated the ship's weapons systems through its neural interface. Corvin says the connection between us is unusually strong, and I've faced the enemy firsthand." After brief deliberation, the Secretary General nodded. "Granted. Project designation: Stardust Sentinel. Your primary mission will be to prepare Earth's defenses and, if necessary, lead our forces against the Voidborn." 1 month later, Elena stood on the bridge of the reborn luminous reflection, now christened the EDF Sentinel. Around her, a mixed crew of human officers and engineers worked alongside the specialists Corvin had chosen from among the volunteers who had flocked to the project. The vessel was still being rebuilt, human and alien technology merging to create something entirely new. Already its capabilities exceeded anything Earth had previously developed, and with each passing day, more of Corvin's advanced systems came online. Through the viewports, Elena could see the first wave of new defense platforms being deployed around Earth and the lunar colonies. In shipyards across the solar system, vessels were being retrofitted with adapted voidborne shields and weapons. Jack approached, tablet in hand. "Latest intelligence from our deep space probes. Multiple gravitational anomalies detected at the system's edge. Size and configuration consistent with a large fleet. Time estimate?" Elena asked, already knowing the answer would be grim. 3 days, maybe 4. Elena nodded, turning to where Corvin floated in a newly designed suspension chamber that allowed him greater mobility around the ship. "Are we ready?" she asked. "No," the alien responded honestly. "But we are more ready than my people were when the Voidborn came for us. And we have something they did not." "What's that?" "The Voidborn have conquered many worlds, Commander Reyes, but they have never faced humans before." Corvin's skin shifted to a shade Elena had come to recognize as the equivalent of a smile. "I have studied your history. Your species does not surrender easily. I believe the Voidborn may have finally found their match." Elena turned back to the view screen, where Earth glowed blue and green against the blackness of space. Her home. The only one humanity had. Jack, signal all ships and defense platforms. Battle stations in 6 hours. Full combat drill. She placed her hands on the neural interface, feeling the Sentinel respond to her thoughts, becoming an extension of her will. The Voidborn think they're coming to devour another helpless world, she said. Let's make sure they choke on this one. Around her, human and alien crew members moved with purpose, united by a common threat and a shared determination to survive. As the Sentinel systems hummed to life under Elena's command, she felt something she hadn't expected to find in the face of impending invasion. Hope. The first battle had been won. The war was about to begin, and humanity would not go quietly into the night.